We're set. We're rocking. It's live. We're doing this. Right, big dog? Right, medium-sized dog? Chewing on a bone, being happy. A little butt slap time. Got done chasing all the creatures outside. Now we can sit, wear this fantastic shirt that was given to me by Andrew Stewart. It's the third of the 3 shirts he sent me. This one is just, it's got bowls. I got some bowls on my arm. Beautiful roses. Oh, this shirt is so sexy. I love it. I love it so much. I want to wear it like all the time. Excellent shirts. Cowboy shirts are just... I feel like I should be in front of a rockabilly band wearing this shirt. Okay. What we got to talk about? Apparently Schwab deleted a bunch of apes. Been getting mumbles about that. Seeing some chats with Schwab chatbot people like, hey, my apes are gone. Just sort of like back in the good old NFT days when people were getting their apes stolen. Now different types of apes are being stolen. We've got the brokerage in Australia telling everyone you've got to transfer out by the 23rd or else your apes will be gone also. 481% short. 149 million plus FTDs in the price. Yeah, nothing makes sense, man. 87% of ape trades are going through dark pools. Doesn't seem quite right to me. I think we deserve better than that. Get rid of dark pools. Get rid of them. Make it gone. Okay, that is off. The daytime one is off. You guys get no second intro. Okay. Lost Waves, do a minute on Kill Tony next time you're in Texas. I have no idea next time I'm going to be in Texas. That could be. I don't know. But sure. Lost Waves, do you like Devil Driver and God Forbid? I don't know if I do or not. send them my way. I'll listen to them. Yeah. Lost Waves, what's up with Eye of Africa? It's been in the news all day. Thought of this show. What? No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. News. No, it hasn't. It's like Eye on Africa has been in the news. I've got my eye on you. No, it hasn't. Don't lie to me. Wheatwild, good morning. Good evening, Wheatwild. Or night. It's 10:30. Just from DAX to the MMTLP shorts have any way to avoid closing when it finally goes private. They crime all the time, and the SEC always looks the other way. Supposedly, no. Supposedly, you're not allowed to have any short positions on a privately held stock. But they're likely to do something illegal. Why? Because that's what they do. They will, probably try to avoid closing. Maybe make the brokerage pay people off or something. I don't know. Or somehow in private, people sit there with synthetics in private, which shouldn't be allowed. But they shouldn't be able to. They should not be able to. We'll see what happens if and when they get that S1 approved. I'm very curious to see how that goes. All right, I gotta roll this up because I keep clickety-clacking on the desk, and that's gonna drive me up the wall. It's a lovely shirt. Lots of pearl snaps. Pearl snaps, go clickety-clack. Okay. One reality show on Eye of Africa. Okay. Intro's off. Have a good show. What's up with SPY today? Bot calls at 2 separate times. Make a profit. That last rise at close is crazy. And I think GME is ready for a good run next week. I think GME is definitely ready for a good run next week. And I'm hoping it gets there. DVS was chatting about the Vega for $60 October 20th calls for where it's at. So that was the ones expected to make the most cha-ching off of this week's rise. That'd be fantastic. I've got 33s that I bought a couple weeks ago. They went beep, whoop, and they're back up to where I bought them from. Should have waited a couple weeks. That'd been smarter of me, but you know, I never get it perfect. I try, but I never get it perfect. Michael Steeks, Houston. When Robinhood was listed, their price went up. Is No Labs shorted? No Labs is definitely shorted. I don't know how much, but the price will get hammered this week by their own doing, because they're doing a stock offering of 3 million shares at $2 a share, something like that, and that should last through the 20th, 21st, somewhere in there. But yeah, No Labs is it should be listed on all the major brokerages now, because they are or maybe not. Well, not showing up on this one. Well, not showing up there at all. So I don't know. It should have been listed today, and so popping up on the trading apps. Wheat Wild's got a spot for us. Friday night spot 32.35. So I'm looking at great pool. A great pool. A just great pool. Okay. Control V. There we go. Oh. Here we go. Here we go. Ah, crap. New database available. Okay. That means it's not going to show us any detail until I close this thing and start all over again. You going to give me detail? No? No? Alright, I got started again. I got to wait a few seconds for it to do its closing thing, and then shabam. Now it should open and do its thing. Yeah? There we go. Try that again. One more time. Into the new database. Flying, smacking into Israel. To a great pool. That's a great pool right there? This is the pool. This is the pool you showed me earlier? That's a great pool. I want to go sit in a pool. I wonder if I could dig a pool. My mom's condo has a pool. I should just go sit in that. I like pools. I like turtles. What's up with chicken prices? They are weirdly up, but also weirdly down. Like last week, 8-piece fried chicken at Safeway was on sale for $3. What? But then, like the Tyson packaged chicken was way up. They just did a huge settlement. The chicken producers lost a huge lawsuit, or did a settlement for a lawsuit with a whole bunch of state attorneys generals. Attorneys general? I don't know how the plural of that works. And they had to do a huge payout because they're fixing prices. Because basically there's like 6 chicken distributors, and they price everything. So, but chicken prices are probably up due to bird flu. There's a rampant amount of bird flu hitting a lot of factory farms especially, and just wiping out chickens. And when you find bird flu in the farm, you pretty much have to kill everything. Just murder it and start all over again. Yeah, so we're probably going to be hitting with that quite a bit, because bird flu is bird flu and it's everywhere. Lost Waves, is Nelnet a scam? Aren't they a student loan company? So, yeah. All student loans are a scam. Can you tell us about Mel's Hole? Does Mel want me to talk about Mel's Hole? Mel's Hole, is that the one in Texas? There's Devil's Hole. That is not at all where I thought that would be. Mel's Hole? Mel's Hole? I gotta look it up here. Oh, it's the bottomless pit in Ellensburg. Yeah, that place. That was just a dude. It's a sinkhole. Or an old mine or something. We talked about this a couple months ago. There are pictures? So it was 2012. Bam, 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 bam. Whoa, that's a lot of data record. You got a lot of ads going on here, buddy. Let's just calm down. So, big hole out in eastern Washington. Eastern Washington's a desert. It's a basalt plain with lots of ash from the various Cascade volcanoes on top of it. There's a hole on some farmers' land, and they think this is a bottomless hole, but most thinking it's just a mine shaft. And I don't know why there'd be a hole out here, or actually I don't even know why there'd be a mine out here. Like, how far below that basalt is there anything worth mining? I haven't heard of any. There's some opals, and there's some Ellensburg blue agates, which are super rare agates. But yeah. So yeah, dude, 97, called Art Bell, told him about a bottomless hole in Ellensburg and with aliens and shit. Yeah. But that's all I know about Mouse Hole. Haven't gone out there to drop any rocks in it or to spelunk. So lowered a weighted fishing line down the hole, ran out of several reels of heavy line at more than 80,000 feet without touching the bottom. Seriously doubt that. The deepest hole ever dug by man was 16 miles, which is right about that deep. That was done by the Russians, and it was so hot it would just melt the diamond bits. They couldn't even like get the bits down there to do anything because they just, the minute they started grinding, it would just melt the bits. So 80,000 feet is really deep. The deepest a human's ever been is, I think, 13,000 feet in South African mines and 11,000 feet at the Kidd Creek mine in Canada. So that's a long way. It's a long elevator to have to go through. So yeah, I don't think Mel's holds much of anything. Probably just a regular hole. Philip Clayton, good morning, Houston. Would definitely watch Houston We Have a Talk Show if that ever went live. Would also watch 1001 Things I Love About the Eye of Africa with Houston. That became a thing. Maybe 5 things. Okay. What's up with your boys, the DOJ? Apparently they are appealing the Florida judge, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, because the Florida judge... Here's one thing. So the Trump lawyers are like, we need a special master to monitor all these things and see what was top secret and what wasn't. But the thing is that he's not allowed to have any documents whatsoever. So even if it has like a document of any kind, he's not allowed to have it. It's supposed to be kept by the National Records, by National Archives. Doesn't matter if it's classified or not, he's not allowed to have it. So one of the people presented by the Trump administration to be the special master is the husband of the judge. If that doesn't show a conflict of interest, I don't know what it is. That should automatically mean she steps down. But she is attributing executive privilege to a former executive, which has never happened before. You don't have executive privilege if you're no longer president. You don't have it. But she's ascribing executive privilege to the former president as if he does still have executive privilege. But that only goes to the actual executive. You are not allowed to keep presidential records. You are allowed to get permission from the National Archives for them to manage presidential records at, say, your presidential library, but that's not a random broom closet at Mar-a-Lago that happens to house, personnel files of the CIA assets and agents, or of, nuclear capabilities and weaknesses of foreign nations. So you're not allowed to have that stuff, especially unsecured at all. And she is making the case for the defense by citing things that don't exist. And that doesn't sound like somebody who should be a judge. So DOJ is appealing higher up. And I think the Circuit Court's going to go, yeah, you're out of here. Was it Judge Carter or whatever her name is? She should not be a judge. Paratarian looks like I was wrong about $30 breach. It wants so bad, scream. And here's some coordinates. It's not the dreaded Eye of Africa. It is not. That is somewhere east and south. Let's see what we got. Bam, bam. Woo. Oops. Turn you on. Bam. We're in China? We are in China, I think. We are a little village or something up here. What we got? Monastery? A little man hop down somewhere. Oop, here's a spot. Right there. Why'd you show the little man thing there? Not... Okay, exit. You said there was a spot. Why you lie? Try again. Okay. Try that one. Is that where it just was? There we go. Ooh, here we go. Got ourselves limestone spires. That's gorgeous. Those don't show up well on the Google Earth relief at all. But limestone, form ancient seafloor, uplifted. Lots of acidic water ate these things away and left these big old hoodoos. Hoodoo? You do. You do hoodoo. Gorgeous. I want to visit China and see these things. They're really cool. Really cool indeed. Thank you. Good spot, Paratarian. Not some random spot in the middle of nowhere. Jason Blackwell. You're going to try it, weren't you? Michael Steegs, Houston, is it possible to let us know, if possible, as soon as you know that it will be a night show? Try to watch the show live, but living in Europe, I also need my sleep. It's true. Sorry, I can't remember if I told anybody it was going to be a night show tonight. I think I told one person when they DM'd me. I was like, oh, it's going to be a night show tonight. I got asked to work at the restaurant tonight, so I went and did that. So yeah, night show. Just, here we are. I don't know. Maybe let's do random shows. Just 5 a.m. my time, 6 in the evening. Just bounce around. Leave you guys popping and weaving. But got 187 of you here at almost 11 o'clock at night, my time. Phil Clayton got an idea for another show. Houston and his Technicolor Dream shirts, pretty much just a show where you wear crazy shirts all the time. What I need to do is I need to set up like a Instagram of just the shirt of the day and kind of, I don't know, give a brief history, where it came from, who I got it from, what kind of shirt it is. I don't know, just a stupid selfie of me in that shirt. I pretty much only do it during Shiny Shirt Week in November when I wear my shiny shirts. But I probably should. Probably should, right, dogs? Yeah, you guys agree, so agree. Yep, don't look at me like that. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, big dog. Guitar stuff. Good evening, Houston. Is it possible for California, Arizona, etc. to continue with climate change? Will a migration north and east be inevitable? Yeah. I mean, it may be helped by the housing crisis about to happen. It's hitting western and southern states hardest. So, a whole bunch of people underwater their mortgages and they get foreclosed on and they got to leave. Well, that could temporarily relieve some of the pressures associated with water. But there really needs to be some serious... there needs to be an outside arbitrator to come in and tell the states exactly how much water they can use and what they can use it for. Because some of the laws, the way they're written, is that if you say you're a farmer and you have a water allotment, the water allotment has been going on for 100 years. And under the contract for water allotment says, hey, if you use any less water than this, you lose that part of your water right. So they are basically encouraged to use the most water-intensive crops they can possibly find. So I like to grow, hazelnuts, almonds, stuff like that need just ridiculous amounts of water in order to fruit, and that way they won't use less than their allocated water usage, and they will get the same amount of water next year. That needs to stop. It needs to be like, you can't grow this, you can't grow this, you can't grow this, and lay it out there. Almonds in California use something like 30 times the amount of water as Los Angeles County, the most populous county in America, which is just kind of ridiculous to think about. That one type of crop you know, I like myself an almond. It's just they shouldn't be grown in the desert on irrigated water on a river that's dropping because there's no snowpack or rainfall. So, you know, move the almond growing somewhere else where they've got the type of water. Move it to Kansas or somewhere. I don't know. Somewhere else. But yeah, if people run out of water, they'll leave. It'll be brutal, but they'll leave. Someone messaged after the show last week, kind of asking a question on a similar line, and I brought up possibility of international cities, like big cities having a problem like that, resource problem, and said like Sao Paulo is pretty close to running out of water, and that's 10, 12 million people, and you've got that many people, and water turns dry, it's going to be a stinky, fighty group of people fighting for whatever they can get. Guitar stuff sending us, looks also far east, international dateline almost. All right, okay, guitar stuff. Let's go a little bit further east of here and south. Woo! My brain can't even pick up what I was doing. We're on top of a mountain. We're in a hole. On a mountain, a hole. Where are we? We're in a lake. Heaven Lake. Where am I? I couldn't even tell where I was. Okay, so we are just across the border in China. It looks like a caldera volcano to me. Kind of a crater lake type thing. Heaven Lake. Top of a caldera. Baekdu Mountain. Part of the Baekdugagan mountain range and the Changbai mountain range. Is located partly in Ryonggang province, North Korea, and partly in Jilin province, China. Oh, so it's the border for the two goes right through there. So you can kayak your way right across, and yeah. All right, I need to know more about Baekdu Mountain. That's what I want to know about. And that's a cool lake. Look at that thing. It's gorgeous. That's a beautiful, pristine lake right there. Cool alluvial plains, landslides going there. I can't see any evidence of mega tsunamis from there, but there's also a valley that runs off. Okay, close that. So it had an eruption in 1815. What? No. It's one of the largest, most violent eruptions in the last 5,000 years. Okay. Oh, no, sorry, that was... when did it have? History, Korea, names, geography, geology. Supposed life every 100 or so years. Last time was 1903 was the last eruption. Okay, so we should be expecting one soon. If that's the case, as a regular 100-year cycle. I want to see it go boom. Mountains Caldera 946. A colossal, 7. Most violent eruption last 5,000 years, comparable to the 180 Lake Topo, or 1850 Mount Tabura, which is 20 cubic kilometers of ash. That's a big eruption. Dang. I don't know about this volcano. I love finding new volcanoes, but that's a gorgeous caldera lake. Absolutely gorgeous. I just want to look at it again. Look at that thing. Beautiful. That is such a cool caldera lake right there. Wonder if it's a soda lake at all, if it's outgassing into the lake, or if it's acidic. Like, can I touch the water? Will my skin stay on me? I'm very curious. It's a good spot to go. That's a good lake. That's a good lake there. Guitar stuff. James Heb, Houston. Which Aussie brokerage is doing shenanigans with Ape? Asking for a mate. Also, have you ever seen stromatolites before? Heaps in Western Australia. I've not seen stromatolites in person, only in museums and rock collections. I've not gone out and gotten them my own. I used to have a piece, I can't find it anywhere, of the banded iron from Michigan that were stromatolites. I've never seen a live stromatolite because the only place they exist is in Australia right now. They don't exist anywhere else. But it is HSBC related brokerage. Crap, what was the name of it? Let me see which Aussie was telling me. They're in my DMs. And Australians, where are you? Not that one. Does different Australian. Not that Australian. Not that Australian. Not that Australian. Where are you? Nope, not that one. It is NAB Trade. NAB Trade. So they're going to sell everyone's apes on the 23rd unless you transfer out before then. So if you're in NAB Trade, which is owned by HSBC or has some sort of agreement with HSBC, they're going to screw you out of your apes. They're going to take your apes. So there you go. That's who it was. Thank you, Craig from Australia. All right, where was I? Paratern, I've got a science question for you tonight since I always pepper you with GME. What are your thoughts on the Big Crunch Bang contraction theory and the scars of past black holes detectable? Okay, we've touched on this before when we talked about dark energy, but it's been a few months, so I can't blame you if either you weren't around for it or if you missed that show or whatever. My rusty trusty baseball of science. Gravity. Gravity is always attractive. It is never repulsive. There is no anti-gravity. There are forces that can counter, say, a gravitational effect, but there is no anti-gravity. So if you throw a baseball in the air, it comes back down again. You can do this a million billion times, and it'll always come back down because gravity is always attractive. That's what every study has ever shown. But there is a velocity in which you can throw this baseball 11 kilometers per second, straight up in the air. And it'll be fast enough, it's escape velocity, it will reach infinity, forever slowing down. It will never, ever, ever get to a point where it hits an apex and then returns back to Earth if you throw this at 11 kilometers per second. Now, cover will off the ball and it'll burst into flames, but whatever. Now, the original theories about how the universe will end was basically three of them. There's the Big Crunch, static universe, and the Big Whimper. And the idea was you have all the mass of the universe in this tiny little point, and the Big Bang goes whomp, and the universe comes into being. And through inflation and expansion of that explosion, the universe expands very far away. So the Big Crunch is it gets to a point, the apex, like when we throw a ball in the air and it hits that point where it stops and slows down and then starts to accelerate back to the center of mass, that all this material explodes outwards, slows down, stops for a brief moment, and it starts to collapse back in itself. Big crunch. And it probably goes boom again and does the big crunch over and over and over and over for infinity. Now, the big whimper is the universe goes boom, and it happens to reach escape velocity when it went boom, and so it just kind of keeps expanding forever. And that's the big whimper, just kind of off into the void, and that's that. And then the static universe was the one Einstein believed in, and he kept finding evidence that the universe was expanding and kept, it can't be right, and trying to fudge his own numbers. But that is, the universe exploded the most perfect boom that happened to make it so the universe went honk and just kind of stopped. And then a perfect static universe, everything's just happy and static. That's the most wrong out of all of them. And then what they discovered was in 1998, Alexei Filipenko and his team at University of California, and I can't remember the guy at the team in Australia, but they basically observed the universe went boom, started slowing down from gravity, and then about 6-7 billion years ago, started accelerating again and speeding up. And now we've gone no big crunch, no static universe, no big whimper. Now what we're fearing is that there's the big rip, which is this dark energy, this energy that's pushing the universe apart against the pull of gravity is so strong at a certain point that's going to rip everything apart. It's going to rip entire galaxy clusters apart, then galaxies themselves and the star systems themselves, individual bodies and stars and planets get ripped apart like 44 billion years from now. It's a long ways away. It's still like 3 to 4 times the age of the universe now. But eventually, the big rip is everything down to its constituent parts gets ripped apart into like the most entropy-laden universe of just individual particles separating from each other forever. The math kind of works out, but I don't know if that's how dark energy works. My undergraduate thesis was on the cause of dark energy, and I posted it here before. But my hypothesis is that everywhere in the universe, there's matter and antimatter that just blinks into existence, just randomly, just blink into existence. They collide, vanish, and then leave behind a gamma ray photon. And that the more void you have between galaxy clusters, the higher likelihood of these particles appearing and disappearing, leaving behind the gamma ray photons. And when you get far enough apart, the outward pressure of these gamma rays flying around, kind of like a solar wind, starts to overcome the very, very weak gravitational force between these bodies when they're really far apart, because gravity gets weaker the further and further you are away. So as you get further away, gravity gets weaker, and then the outward pressure of the vacuum of space, this vacuum energy density, takes over and starts pushing things away. And that is what I believe the dark energy is. And so what I did was I made a model of the universe as it was like 6-7 billion years ago, where galaxy clusters were about yay. And I figured out the gravitational pull between the two of them. And then I set dark energy equal to that. So I could get a constant for the vacuum energy density in that space. And then I took them to where they are today, calculated the gravitational energy between them, added in that constant I had for the vacuum energy density, and discovered that it was exactly 3 times gravity, which is the number that we're discovering elsewhere. And then I calculated that vacuum energy density constant I had to what we measure as the randomness of these particles appearing, colliding, disappearing, and leaving behind a gamma ray photon, and basically they're the same. It's really tiny. It's like 10 to the negative 80th joules per cubic meter. Like it's just such a abysmally small number. But when you have a huge volume of empty space that's, say, I don't know, 10 to 20 million light years across, that adds up. It is a linear constant. So the more space you have, the more powerful these things become. And that was my undergraduate thesis. And all my professors were like, holy shit. And then I tried to get it published, and no one would publish it because I didn't have a PhD. They're like, no, I'm not going to publish this. So it only got published in the Hawaii Academic Journal. But, you know, no one's proved me wrong yet. Been waiting. Yeah, so there we go. Okay. Hassan Bell. Man, you guys, Friday nights, you guys just love your coordinates on Friday nights. Where are we going? Where are we going? Bam, bam. Going to Europe. We're going to... This looks like it's on top of a hill, maybe? Is it a fort? What are we? Yes, Koenigstein Fortress. Okay. Oh, yeah, it is on a hill. Look at that sucker. Alright, I dig it. Show me. Show me Koenigstein Fortress. Full article. Well, don't you look like a fortress? Yes. Saxon, Switzerland. Near Dresden. Okay. In Saxon, Switzerland, Germany, above Koenigstein. It looks like a little bit better version of the castle that's in Kufstein, where I played baseball. That's kind of the ugliest castle in Europe, I'll be honest. It looked like a aluminum smelter. Fortress for centuries used as a state prison. Is still intact. Now a Saxony's foremost tourist attraction. 700,000 visitors a year go to Koenigstein Fortress. Painting from 17 something? 56, 58? That's an imposing looking fortress. I mean, I'd look at that thing and go, oh, goodness. Alright, I have to look at where is this in relation to everything. I couldn't really get a good visual. Alright, where am I? Alright, Czech Republic. I gotta turn off the roads. There's too many roads. Oh, okay. That's anywhere near Switzerland. Why did it say Switzerland? That is near Czech Republic. Switzerland's over there. Dresden's up there. I don't know what they're smoking on that Wikipedia article. That is not Switzerland. But it's a cool fortress. I like it. Guitar stuff. Houston. There a geologic reason that most of the land's mass in the northern hemisphere, or is that just how it is? That's just how it is. So, if we pan out and look at our oceans, all right, we can do the classic, looking at South America, Africa, and we can see that they fit together at one time, right? If you just kind of move those two back to each other, you can see that this little nub fits in. Sorry, I can point to my screen, you guys. This little nub fits in with that little nub, and this spreading ridge between them is the conveyor belt pushing them apart. Now, the same thing is Greenland, the eastern United States, Canada, along with Norway, Scotland, part of the Iberian Peninsula, and the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, all once met up and made a gigantic super mountain range that dwarfed the Himalayas at one time, 300 million years ago. But then the spreading ridge took them apart, and they eroded down over time, and they made for things like a big continental shelf of material off the coast of North America. When South America, Africa, North America, Greenland, Europe were all smacked together, they were also smacked together with India and Madagascar off Africa, along with Australia and New Zealand and Antarctica coming in Schwab in the south. And so you can find like certain fossils of dinosaurs and other creatures. You'll find the same fossil in Africa, in Antarctica, and Australia. You're like, oh, well, these three things obviously must have been together at one time because that's the only spot I can find those particular fossils. What seems to happen on the Earth is that I think of it as like ice cubes kind of floating around a bathtub. They're just kind of mingling around. Every once in a while, they kind of pull together and drift apart and pull together. So these continents make a supercontinent maybe once every 400 or 500 million years. And then there's a giant ocean that's 75% of the entire planet. And then they spread apart. And then they bonk into each other again, and then they spread apart. And they bonk into each other again, and they spread apart. And they bonk into each other again. So these continents can be all over the place. You know, we can look at fossil records up in Alaska, and we can find, you know, tropical palm trees. Because at one time, Alaska was in a tropical zone. But it's migrated north and west. So, you know, you can imagine, like, we can see this view of the Pacific where there's almost no land visible. You got a little bit of North America, a little bit of New Zealand, a little bit of Australia, and a couple islands in between. But 300 million years ago, you may not have even seen some of those islands. It would have just been ocean, ocean, ocean. You would turn, and then you might, you know, after turning the planet more than halfway, you might finally get Pangaea or Gondwana land visible. So it just happens to be how it is. And as a result of the sparseness of land, especially in the Southern Ocean, is that you get things like the roaring 50s and roaring 40s where there's no land to slow down the trade winds, and so the wind is just howling through here. It's absolutely brutal. Huge waves, crazy storms, and just roars and roars and roars and roars. Whereas up north, you know, there's land in the way of all that stuff. So it slows the wind down. So there you go. Paratern, tinfoil hat time. Given we know near nothing about the quantum side of physics spectrum, how insane would it be if deja vu was just quantum entanglement with your nearest parallel self? That's actually a pretty fun idea. That's a good one for a movie. It's a very good one for a movie. If you're going to do any like multiverse stuff, like, totally recognized that before. I like it. So, to give a rundown on quantum mechanics, we can model a hydrogen atom, which is a proton, an electron going woohoo. What we can't do is figure out where that electron is at any time, because if you look at it, it stops the electron, and that affects where the electron is. And if you get two protons in there, so the helium atom with two neutrons and two electrons going bonkers, we cannot model that in any way, shape, or form. We have no idea what that's going to look like. The probability of those electrons being in different clouds gets so insane, and to model anything beyond that is so speculative and crazy that it's not even worth it. The electrons do all sorts of weird things, and we just don't know. So we kind of have an idea of what a hydrogen atom looks like, and that's about it. Everything else, But quantum entanglement is a weird thing we discovered where we can make like two electrons kind of do the same thing under the same situation and then separate them and then mess with one electron and the other electron acts like it's being messed with as well, no matter how far away it is. And again, we have no idea why. It'd be like punching one twin in the face and then his twin halfway around the world goes, ow! We don't know how or why it does that. It completely escapes all reasoning. We know we can do it. We just don't know why. So if anyone can ever answer why, they've got a Nobel Prize waiting for them. Okay. Houston, if you had to pick a month and week when the market will collapse, what would you guess just for fun? November 15th. There you go. Beach Bum, what do you think the estimate dollar amount of equipment there is valued at? It's a $250 billion. Is that at this location? Is this the Mojave graveyard? Yeah, looks like we're going to the graveyard. Yeah, so we've been here before. I mean, we got B-52s, right? I don't know how much B-52s cost because we built them all in like 1950. We've got a whole bunch of, these look like F-14s down here. Maybe F-16s? I think those are fixed wing. Those must be F-16s. F-4 Phantoms. These look like wing sections of, I can't even tell what these were. Maybe B1s? No, they don't have pointy noses. The noses are gone anyway. No, these aren't. I can't even tell what these things are. So these might be B-52s, and these might be like Hercules. Maybe C-130s? These are B1s, I think. I think these are all B1s. I have no idea what those are. These are F4s. Some more giant Hercules looking things. More F4s. I don't even know what you are. Get maybe McDonnell Douglas, because I used to put those engines on the back on those things. But this thing is expansive. I mean, it just goes and goes and goes, and there's a whole bunch of cars. So, you're asking $250 billion? Ooh. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, there's so many here. Got room for a bunch more too. These all look like F-16s. I have no idea what these are like. A6s maybe? Maybe. Intruders? I can't quite tell. But, and then a very dusty golf course. Look at that thing. That is a very dry golf course. Your ball does nothing but bounce there. Man. I would figure out how many planes are here. Maybe if you just think planes are $1 million each, which were built for much more than that. I mean, if you look at F-14, then it's like $30 million airplane back in the 80s. Yeah, $250 billion. That'd be $250 billion bucks. That's how much it costs to build those. That's very possible. I mean, it'll take like 100 of them to get to $1 billion, maybe. So maybe not that much. Maybe 30 or 40 billion. But there's a lot of cars and things over here as well. And it looks like perhaps bunkers for munitions of some kind here. I don't know. What do you think, Big Dog? How many do you think are in there? Huh? A lot. A lot. Yeah, you big dork. Okay. Veritarian, if humans absolutely needed to ditch the planet and we developed escape pods that could send us anywhere in our solar system, which exomoons are our best shot at survival? You'd want stuff with water. So you want Europa, Ganymede. But again, like, it's cold as hell. So You have to figure out a way to keep warm. But you can at least scoop ice and have that available. But I don't know how much ammonia and methane are on that ice as well, because it's really cold. If you want atmosphere, go for Titan. But Titan is basically just shatter because it'd be so cold. That movie, The Titan, was so bad. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. I would just rather fix Earth. Be much easier. Right, Big Doug? So much easier to fix Earth. Right? Yeah, all I have to do is fix it. Guitar stuff. It's 3 months after MOASS. America suddenly has thousands of new millionaires. What does that world look like? Everyone else is still really poor. We bought their houses for cheap. Hopefully we're doing some good works with what money we have. And everyone else probably hates us. That's probably what's happening. We're probably getting blamed for a lot of this. It was those meme stalkers. They're the ones who crashed this whole thing. It wasn't the entire rigged system. That wasn't that for sure. There are going to be a lot of people trying to blame us. Definitely. I'm not your friend. Aloha from Wahoo. A couple of us cardboard warriors still out working the streets. HW, why do red today? Because the economy's crashing? Simple as that, my man. Oh, and then the reset of the chat, because I'm already 9 years behind. Okay. Guitar stuff. What, if any, geological commodities will you invest in post-MOASS? I mean, I might buy gold, or at least invest in gold mutual funds or an ETF or something, just because it will pop later. The need for quick gains will be gone post-MOASS. A nice steady climb, good to go. Dump stuff into annuities or whatever. That might be the ticket. Because, you know, once you got it, you don't need to, you don't have to like clamor and get all the big plays. You got it. And then you can sit and pet dogs all day, right? Just pet dogs all day, perhaps on a tropical beach, right? Oh, yeah, it'd be wonderful. Yeah. J.M. Gill saw something in the news today about synthetic embryo created in a lab with a brain and beating heart. Thoughts? That's fucked up. Making synths. Didn't we have a Blade Runner about this, Big Dog? Huh? Didn't we talk about this? Synthetic humans seems really weird to me. It also was the entire plot of... Wasn't the first season of Picard all about synthetics? Seems weird to me. There you go. Lay down. Perfect. Yes. Lay down. Joshua Humi, you can hear the boys chanting in the distance. OPEX, OPEX, OPEX. I love it. I love it. All right. Tropical and East again for guitar stuff. We gave us a cool Volcano last time, so may as well go places, right? Slap. Where am I? Christmas Island? I couldn't quite tell. Okay. We are green part on island. What island are we on? Punsan? Silver City? Christmas Island. Yep, we're on Christmas Island. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what's in this spot. It's a road. It's a spot on a road. Is there any reason to be on Christmas Island? We can go there. Alright. Looks like a driveway. We are on a trail in the jungle. Is there any crabs? Any Christmas Island crabs? I'm not seeing any crabs. Nuts. I was hoping for crabs. Christmas Island is famous for the crabs that come climb all over the land and like lay eggs. Or no, they come out of the trees and go to the beach and lay eggs. Crap, which way do they go? Christmas Island crabs. They're huge and they climb everywhere. Maybe that's one right there. But they blurred out any others that could possibly be anywhere. That might be one over there. Christmas Island. I want to go to the road. Take me there. The grotto. Oh, the grotto is down that trail. So, can I go to the grotto? Take this little dude, put him at the end of the road. Maybe the grotto's right there. Oh, there we go. We're in the grotto. There's a crab. Hey, crab. That's cool. That's awesome. Probably some brackish water. And the crab. Perfect. Christmas Island crab right there for you. Doing this Christmas Island crab thing. Some basalt cliffs. Nice. Probably might dip out. Think this goes to the ocean? Or is it just groundwater? Pretty close to the ocean right there. I like it. Thank you. Good spot. Another spot to go visit. Big Dog, what do you want, Big Dog? What do you want? What do you want? Paratarian, I got offered a big amount of money by a certain bank to switch careers and work for them. My current field is state and work is hard to find. Should I take the evil money, buy GME with it? I mean, getting offered a lot of money is offered a lot of money. But if you work with the state, you might have a pension and everything in there. I don't know how much you give up on your pension if you leave the state, or if you can return back again. But, I mean, how much is a lot of money? A lot of money is a lot of money. What do you think, Big Dog? Yay or nay? Would you enjoy the job? Or would it be a type of money where you could be like, peace? Or would you have to sign a contract and you're stuck with them for like 3 years or something, even if you MOASS? That is probably a good question to ask. Carl Alit, Houston. Should Adam Aaron have issued APE with a share number and an encrypted serial number that can only be verified by the issuing company? That would stop synthetics. Would it be allowed? It would not be allowed because the FAST certificates are created not by Adam Aaron and the company, but by the DTCC. So basically say, I'm going to offer these shares, and then they get a QSIP number, and then the DTCC does the rest, and that's what happens. So they can't individualize them. That's a bummer. They should, and if we had a blockchain, we could, but we don't have a blockchain, so we can't. Wheatwild, Paratarian, yes, take the money. You can get away from them. I worked for Big Oil for the past 5 years. It was great. Left last month. My coworkers all have 2 houses at least and no student loans. Well, there you go. Yeah, money does talk. Any updates on Sears? Nope. Any updates on MMTLP? Not yet. We're waiting for the S1 to get refiled. And I'm just sure the internet will be rife with S1 in news when it finally happens. Westwind, Air Canada purchased 30 electric hybrid planes. Would you feel safe flying in one? I mean, I'm not sure what an electric hybrid plane is. Is it, I mean, because I can't picture an electric motor having the same thrust as a jet engine, so it must be a prop plane that has electric motors turning a propeller? I'll have to look into that, see how they work. But I can't imagine there being the type of thrust for a long enough period of time to make a difference for one of those things. Because, you know, little drone lasts 15 minutes. The drones that are supposed to carry a single person, they can last like 30 minutes. I can't picture a plane having enough battery space to make it worthwhile to compensate for all the fuel. Very curious. Like electric ferries, those make sense. You can charge every time you get to port and unload after half an hour ferry run. That's perfect sense. But planes travel great distances, and I just don't think we have the energy density yet for the battery packs of those things. Someone could prove me wrong. I'll have to look into it there, Westwind. BOFH, about the Schwab deleting ape thing, make sure to point people in the direction of the SEC page for reporting securities fraud. They can't cover up hundreds of reports. Yes. Where's the SEC page? Big Dog? There we go. Okay. Turn off that. This is the SEC page. I'll put it in the chat. Boom, boom, boom. It's sec.gov/TCR. Report suspected securities fraud or wrongdoing. So, submit a tip. Clickety-clack there. And you may get rewarded. It's very possible, especially if you get whistleblower status. Whistleblower awards and protections, they give you a chunk of whatever's recovered if they do find wrongdoings. And it can be in the millions sometimes. Which, you know, if there's stuff about Citadel out there and there's insiders that are calling it, they aren't talking to us because they're talking to the SEC because they'll get millions from the SEC in the whistleblower status. But they'll blow that if they like go to the media or go on Reddit. So they've talked to the SEC and they keep their lips shut. Okay. Bree W's here. Fantastic. Can you talk about Metamaterial yet? Not really. I'm trying not to. I'll talk about MMTLP because it has nothing to do with what my brother does. But not MMAT itself. The thing I know is that they are told they need to get their share price up there. And that if MMTLP sells, MMAT will have a giant windfall from it because they own like 20 or 30% of MMTLP. So it could mean like $1 billion in cash going to Metamaterial if that happens. BFH, when is T90 on GME and APE? Well, GME would be what? Like October 19th or so? If the DTCC had treated their shares as if they were a dividend and not a forward split, as I told everyone to process. So I have no idea if the GME one's going to come into effect. The APE shares would be November 22nd, somewhere in there. So, yeah. Spencer's Inside Out Sweater. It's time for an HKD style ape scam. Chinese seem to have the process down flat. Yeah. I wonder, the easiest way would be to create a holding company of some kind, right? So everybody pools their money and then buys a bunch of other stocks and then sells stock in that company, and you do an IPO of some kind with that holding company that has a bunch of stocks, other things. And then you just never deliver the shares. I don't know if you can do it in the U.S. because the way the FAST system is set up, but that's probably why the Chinese out of Hong Kong have such good luck with screwing over American investors, is that they've got a whole different system in Hong Kong, and these ARDs, these are like parallel trading stocks, and they just never send any of those shares to the U.S. and get screwed over. So maybe we should form our own holding company in Hong Kong and do it that way. Oh crap, I missed a super chat here. I'm sorry. Purportedly stupid. Trivia time. What is the most correct pluralization of octopus? There are several valid ones, only one most correct. Well, octopus is a Greek root and not a Latin root, so the proper plural for octopus is octopuses. There you go. If it were a Latin root, it would be octopi, but it's not a Latin root. It's a Greek root, so the plural is octopuses. Octopoodles. Sorry I didn't get to that one. I must have been staring at something else. Sorry, purportedly stupid. That was my fault. Okay. MT Houston, I'm a chicken farmer. They are easy to grow and can get over 10 pounds each organically. Just keep them fed, watered, safe, 3 square feet each, and in the shade. Okay. I have never raised chickens on my own. I've had friends that raise chickens, mostly for eggs, And then when they stop producing eggs, they have some good eating for a day. But yeah, they mature in like 6 months or something, don't they? And then like, well, time to make them into nuggets. But yeah, I'm going with octopods, octopi, octopes. Octopedes. So Professor Zuba says Octopedes is the correct one. Well, maybe is that a more traditional Greek plurality? Octopedes, Hades. Okay. One day we'll be 198 viewer millionaires. That'd be fantastic. We're at 189 right now. A couple people went to bed. And they're like, I can't. It's Friday. Busy week. No, I just do it. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for the shirt, buddy. I know you said you can't catch the live, but thank you. It's awesome. Oh, get back to Big Houston. I haven't been to Big Houston for a few minutes. Okay. Jason Blackwell, Houston Show 200 coming up. Not much hype. Everyone was a lot more excited for Show 69, but I can't remember why. I think I had Gherkin on for 69, didn't I? I think I had Gherk on. 200. I gotta figure out who should I bring on for Show 200. That'll be Wednesday, right? Because 199 will be Monday. Wednesday will be Show 200. Who shall we try to have on for Show 200? I'll find someone. I'll start. Hey, you want to come on? We'll talk about stuff. Well, Brad Pitt on or something. I don't know. All right. They always wanted to put ads in here. I'm not putting an ad in there, YouTube. You want to know you want some money, and I could probably use some money, but I don't need to throw ads in all the time. The last time I hit an ad there, things went bonkers, and I don't trust it anymore. But constantly, like, I'm trying to read the chat, this thing's like, boom, you should give everybody an ad right now. I'm like, no, buddy, I am looking for chats. That's what I do during live. People who watch at home later, they can worry about the ads. Okay, all right. I think get to the point where people are talking about vacuum energy density. All right. Houston, what's with the can of Spam on your shelf? This can of Spam, this one right here. This can of Spam was given to me by, I think, my friend Lil for my 14th birthday in 8th grade. So this can of Spam is 27 years old, I think. Date on here. I can't read what that would be at all. It's definitely from the 90s, that's for sure. And you can get Spam hats and Spam boxer shorts on here from Hormel Foods. But yeah, so I've had this can of Spam for 27 years. It's been sitting on one shelf for another, so I thought I'd put it in the shelf behind here. Maybe I'll eat it when I'm 100 years old, see what it's like. But the expiration date stuff on here is some code, and I have no idea what any of it means. As to when it was made or when it will go bad. I don't know, but that's my can of Spam. That's at least 27 years old. There we go. I used to have a can of Viking. I still have it leaked. Hold on a sec. So I had a can of this energy drink called Viking, and it was made by Viking Lawnmower Company in Austria, and they were the sponsors of my baseball team I played on, the Koenigstein Vikings. And so I had this can of energy drink that was 20 years old, and the energy drink ate through the aluminum and then leaked everywhere all over my bookshelf in the other room. And I think I had to throw the can away. I tried like washing it and it ended up crinkling, and oh well. So if you keep energy drinks for 20 years, it will eat through the aluminum in your can and then put sticky stuff everywhere, and it will be a nightmare to clean off. And some of it got onto my Spam can, but I got it off of there. Okay. No Labs ticker is KNW since I switched to the New York Stock Exchange. Michael Steegs, Houston, do you think Putin is hoping he can hang on to power till Trump saves him? For a price, of course. I don't think Putin can. I think Putin's really weakened right now, and if he loses Donetsk and the east, and especially if he loses Crimea, they're gonna smell, those oligarchs are gonna smell blood in the water, and he's gonna get defenestrated. Putin fell out of a window today. There was already rumors that there was an attack on his motorcade the other night, but no verification on that. Like the mayor of St. Petersburg has called for his resignation, and that's like the job Putin used to have before he became vice president. So, I mean, what's his name? Kamal. He's a professor. I gotta search for him now. Kamil Galiv. He's a professor of Russian history. Where is it? Georgetown or something? I can't remember. But he did a Twitter thread like last March, and he talked about how if you have dictators, there's a certain mentality of the dictator where people start to question them. They're like, this guy might be kind of crazy, and so the dictator has to throw a Hail Mary, and the Hail Mary has to be absolutely just knucking futs. So for Hitler, it was, I'm going to invade the Czech Republic, and everyone's like, what the? He invades Czech Republic, and there's actually a whole bunch of generals that were like ready to assassinate him. And they're like, this guy's crazy. He's invading the Czech Republic. We are violating so many treaties right now. The rest of the world is going to stomp on us, just like they did in World War I. And then Neville Chamberlain was like, that's okay. Just don't invade anyone else. And all of a sudden, Hitler went from this crazy guy to a genius. Like, well, shit, we have to follow him now. And so these dictators will do a Hail Mary like that, and if they get away with it, then they win. That's it. Like, anyone who was against them either has to shut up or fall in line. And for Putin, it was the invasion of Ukraine. That was his Hail Mary. All his generals told him the army is so strong. We have so many people in the army. It is fantastic. We're good to go. And they were all lying. The army was garbage. The soldiers were garbage. The training was garbage. The equipment was garbage. There was only a fraction of the number of soldiers that they actually had, because the rest of them, oh, hi, monkey butt. You want to come up here, don't you? Yes, you do. You're welcome. Hey, come on. Yes, you can say hi. And so he did this Hail Mary, and if he happened to have breezed into the Ukraine and taken Kyiv in 3 days, they'd be like, oh, this guy's a genius, and we have to fall in line. All of his detractors have to shut up and just sort of become Putin fans, right? Right, monkey? But it hasn't worked. None of that, but his army's getting his ass kicked. And they are unprepared. They're running out of equipment. They don't have any bullets. They don't have any food. They don't have winter clothes. They don't have anything they need. And so if the dictator can't win on the Hail Mary, then the opposition starts to coalesce. And the people who are on the fence are like, all right, this guy's crazy. And so I don't see Putin surviving a loss in Ukraine at all. He's going to lose his navy, or most of his navy. He's going to lose almost all of his tanks and howitzers and working jets and rockets and everything else. I mean, you can already see, like last night, war basically broke out, or a skirmish of some kind between Kyrgyzstan and Turkmenistan. These are two countries that are in the equivalent NATO that Russia set up. They're supposed to be allies, and they're at war with each other. We've got Armenia and Azerbaijan going to war with each other. Armenia is like, help me, Russia. And Russia's like, we fucking can't do anything right now. And so they've lost their ally. Kazakhstan is talking about pulling out of that treaty organization. Being like, yeah, we don't want to be part of you anymore. We're done. And so Russian soldiers that were stationed there are getting kicked out. Not good if you are a dictator. You're being slowly isolated to the point where even China's like, yeah, I don't know if we can back this right now. So, yeah. Carl Alit, thanks for asking a question. Thanks for asking a question. I love answering questions. Okay. Quit resetting, you bastard. Okay. We're back down to 10. Where was I? Alright. Through that one. Past Probably Stupids. Past there. Past James. Okay. There we go. NAB is out of Bank of America. It's out of Bank of America? Not out of HSBC? That's what the guy said. It's HSBC. But what are you doing with Bank of America in Australia? You don't need that garbage there. Shouldn't be allowed. Okay, where was I? The Putin question, found it. Okay, moving on. Doc Breezy, Houston, do you think Nanox imaging has potential within the next 5 years on their multi-source imaging devices? I don't know anything about Nanox. At least I don't think I do. Nanox. Nanox Imaging Limited. Went from 1212, peaked at 1268 today. Medical Imaging Systems. Groundbreaking technology and democratized medical imaging. I don't know anything about these guys. Together for better health. Our vision. Tell me your vision. Our mission. To globally protect one's health. Okay. World's population has no meaningful access to medical imaging. Alright. One metal filament heated 2,000 degrees Celsius, requiring special cooling rotation mechanics. Blah, blah, blah. We plan to proactively promote our business plan via the deployment of 15,000 units by the end of 2024. So they got 2 years, or a year and a half, and become the largest medical imaging network. We believe the industry should 2 years, should shift to a service-based pay-per-scan business model versus legacy capital investment model. We're focused on realizing our vision to provide worldwide end-to-end medical imaging solutions. So they have MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans. I don't know what they're making. Technology. Our technology. Reduce costs of medical imaging. Plan safe collaboration with leading healthcare organizations. Priorities. Blah, 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 blah. They got some chips. They got some tubes. They got some hands. They got some sort of device apparatus. Looks kind of Star Trek-ish. Yeah, very Star Trek-ish. Looks like it moves on a band, just like in Star Trek. I mean, they're saying they're going to have it by end of 2024, so 2 years. Why not? I don't know who they are or what they do, but I just learned a little bit. We'll see, I guess. Michael Steegs, Houston, I live in the south of Netherlands. Any idea what climate change problems we can expect here and where to move? I predict that your winters are going to be a lot more mild. South of Netherlands is above sea level, so or part of it is, unless you're near the coast. Go there. Go there. Let's get out of this hole. Exit the street view of the hole, and we will zoom away. We will get out of here. Turn me north of Christmas Island. Keep zooming. Keep zooming. Keep zooming. We got to zoom out real far so I can zoom over to Europe. Alright, Netherlands. The Netherlands. If you're in the South Netherlands on the coast, where at 1 foot sea level, you may have some issues, but you do have a country that's very good at building dikes. So there's that. But if you're out here in the hills, you're at 80 feet up, which, you know, for at least a couple of huge glaciers from West Antarctic ice shelf or Greenland going in the ocean, you might have waterfront property out here. So you should be pretty good. But yeah, in like, you know, you're a couple hundred feet in some places up here. For the most part, Netherlands is really flat and very underwater. Yeah, -9. You cut like 3 meters underwater up here. So 4 meters. 4 meters. Oh, it's 14 whole feet above sea level there. But 1 foot minus, yeah. So, like where the Hague is, you're 7 feet just east of there. Oh, almost 5 meters under sea level out here. So, yeah, there's 5 meters right there. So Berkel El Roden is 5 meters below sea level. That's a decent amount. And then you have to be protected by the dike system. Otherwise, you'll drink in some ocean. But that's an offensive. That's very far down. Very far down. What you probably expect is probably drier summers. When rainfall comes, it's going to be a lot more brutal and all at once. And mild winters from this point forward. I'm not sure you're going to have canals freezing over. People will ice skate on them soon. That might be it for you. You have to go real far north to experience that winter. Oh, you got an ear hole issue, monkey? Is that why you're shaking your head so much? David Morgan, Houston, do you think the governors in blue states will send homeless people to Texas and Florida as a response to migrants being dropped off in their states? No. they aren't going to be petty like that. Someone had a funny joke that they should go to Trump rallies and tell people they want a trip to Mar-a-Lago and just send them to Venezuela. Oh, that's funny. Snake Dave, Houston, what is your favorite book behind you? Then which book have you read the most? Why? Small overview of each book, please. That's a lot of books. I don't usually read books twice. The only novel I've actually read twice is Stranger in a Strange Land, which was one of my favorite books ever written. Robert Heinlein. Although I may someday read the selected works of T.S. Spivet again, because that is my favorite novel I've ever read. I thought it was just so beautiful. But like there are books that I constantly refer to all the time, like the World Almanac I go through several times a year. I usually read it between Christmas and New Year's when the new one comes out. It comes in my stocking every year. Basically read it cover to cover and then refer to it all the time for various things. Almanacs are fantastic. And sometimes there's actually stuff in here that it's easier for me to find here than it is for me to like search on the internet to find. I can like flip right to the page to know exactly where it's going to be, and I go, oh yeah, that's how tall that building is. So I like that. I also like, reference books wise, I have my gem hunting books and my ghost town books all on this shelf next to my desk. Because they're the ones that when I'm staring at Google Earth a lot, I'm searching for various ghost towns to figure out what they may have mined in those places, or I get the stories of them. The bookshelf you can't see, which is over here behind this cabinet, is all my reference books, all textbooks and things over the years. I found the geology textbook that I think is the best one I've used. This one here. Don't you fall. You stay right there. This one, if you can find, you can go on like eBay or Amazon and get, something that's not the up-to-date one, Exploring Geology. It is just the coolest with the best graphics and pictures of things of any geology book. So if you find like an older version of this, you'll be able to get it for like $5. And you just read it. Just go front to back and you go, holy shit, this is an amazing book. It's got the best graphics, the best explanations of stuff of any geology book I've witnessed. Talks about everything from energy extraction and mining to how things form, and it's just the best intro to geology book I could possibly ask a student to read. Exploring Geology, which one is this? This is 3rd edition. So this is probably, what, I used this at the Art Institute probably 2018. So there's probably 1 or 2 editions since then. So you can probably find this 3rd edition one for cheap. Let's see here. Exploring Geology, 3rd edition. How cheap are you? Okay. $27 on ABE books. $9 for 2nd edition. Thriftbooks.com. So get the 2nd edition pretty cheap. Well, here's $14 for the 3rd edition. So Amazon, what do you got in Amazon? Amazon has it for $19 for the 3rd edition. The up-to-date editions are $230. So trust me, there's nothing different in the up-to-date version compared to this one. This one is fantastic. So if you want to like flip through a textbook that's kind of fun to read, this is the one. This is one I recommend. I highly recommend it. It's very good, very well done, indeed. Out of all the books I got, when I started my geology class, the publisher sent me like 50 textbooks. And I was like, lame, 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 ooh. And that's definitely one that made me go, ooh. My sister will have a textbook publishing. She's co-author and editor of a textbook on energy that's going to be published for physics classes. It's like 200-300 level physics courses. That'll be coming out. I don't know what. I'll ask her what if they settle a title. But all the writing's done. Now it's trying to get the publisher to put the pictures in the right spot and do all that stuff. So she'll be a published textbook author here soon. So on top of being a captain up for Admiral in the Navy and a head of her department, she's also going to be the author of a physics textbook. That's exciting. King Louis, new Eat the Rich series trailer seems to make retail out as wanting to crash the economy. We need to get the truth out. Oh, well, I guess I'll have to wait until we're all rich. I haven't seen the trailer yet. Is that the one that's going to be on Netflix? Because that's the one the producers had contacted me. I did like a interview with them. And they said, oh, we're going to do like a real interview with actual camera crews and everything. We'll get back to you. And then they never got back to me. Oh, well. Trying to figure out which cool shirt I was going to wear for that, but c'est la vie. Aaron Salentine, Houston, will penny stock squeeze during the MOASS? Very likely. I mean, it was the week after the January, the baby squeeze, the sneeze, that all the OTC stocks popped. And they just jumped. Like thousands of them all just went up like 100% and then died at the end of the week. So it's very likely that a lot of those OTC stocks have also been shorted to shit, are going to explode as well. So it'd be a great time for any of those OTC stocks that got cash on hand. If it's looking like GameStop is running, AMC is running, and so on, just offer a special dividend. Just see what happens. Be like, hey, we're gonna offer 50 cents a share, just out of the blue, just a special dividend for everyone, and just see what happens, because those hedge funds are going to have to cover all of those payments in lieu, and it could really, really put the screws to them. That's where my honeypot scheme comes in, and post-MOASS, I'm definitely going to run a honeypot scheme on the OTC. I'm going to make a holdings company. I'm going to sell 1 million shares at $1 each, and I'm going to let the shorts short the hell out of it. Short it down to fractions of a penny. I don't care. They can sell or box it. I don't care. And then I'm going to take that $1 million and I'm going to offer a $1 special dividend on all the 1 million shares I issued. But I will have taken a whole bunch of other money and bought up all of the synthetic shares, billions of them, however many, and put them in a separate holding company and then offer that $1 dividend, and just watch it explode, as they either have to close their positions on them, which yeah, you can have it, or they got to send me $1 for every single one of those shares that they shorted. Right, monkey? Why are you looking at me like that? You keep staring at me as if I'm going to do something for you. You went outside, you chased bunny rabbits. Come here. This is the look she gives me when she like hears a coyote off the distance and she wants to go outside and go murder stuff. She just stares at me, wagging her tail as if I'm going to read her mind so she can go murder things out in the wild. Yeah, you want to go murder, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you want to slaughter. That's all you want to do at all times is just go outside and murder little fluffy things. Or coyotes. Okay. Get up here. Get up there. Here, this will calm you down. How's that? Go under your blanket. It's like I hit the off button. She's just standing there. You go. She's moving again. All right. Peter Jefferson, do you think the economy can survive another 6 months based on its current trajectory? No. I think it's got 8 weeks, maybe, at the most. Maybe 6. The bottom's going to fall out definitely after the election. It's going to go and just go everywhere. And it'd be like bartending. The worst bottles in the world were Cuervo bottles. Sometimes you just pick that thing up and the bottom will just fall out and the Cuervo just goes everywhere. And it's like, why the bottom just fall out of this thing? That's going to be the economy in about 8 weeks. The bottom's just going to fall out and it's going to be brutal. '40th Oracle, Houston has got back from an inflamed show. Swedish metal is the best metal. Okay, I'm going to sleep. Is Swedish metal the best metal? Maybe Norwegian death metal is best metal. But then the Finns are pretty cool. And then there's the Botswanans who are into the leather metal like nobody's business. I want to do a documentary on Botswanan leather metal. Figure out a way to get like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden to do a free show in Botswana. So that like the 3 million Botswanan metalheads can like go, oh my god, this is amazing. Alright. Chlamydia. It's just such a great name. There are a few electric planes now. Check out Diamond Aircraft's EDA-40. About 65 minutes of flight time. They're getting there. Give it 10 years and we'll see real advances. Well, if we get solid-state batteries in there that have 10 times the energy density and don't have to have any of the cooling systems, then we can have electric planes. I mean, if you have 65-minute flight time with current batteries, you can get a 650-minute flight time with solid-state batteries. So 650 minutes, 10 hours, you can fly to Europe on that. So why not? SK Houston, why do you think there are not a million posts on Reddit and Twitter with people who have not received their ape shares? Well, most of the posts were from European brokerages. People didn't get them in Europe. But for the most part, because the brokers just made synthetic apes and put them in people's accounts. And then set the clock. You have 90 days to make that fake ape a real ape. And that's basically what they did. So probably most of the apes that are delivered are fake apes. MT Houston, broiler chickens are best younger than 12 weeks. You can eat them as soon as they have full white feathers around 5 to 6 weeks. Eating babies. Delicious. All right. Actually, I've got a bunch of chicken downstairs. I should probably eat that. I'm talking about chicken. Got 30 more minutes. Then I can go eat some chicken. I want chicken now. I'm going to eat myself a 12-week-old baby. What type of meat is Spam? It's pork and Spam jelly. That's what it is. It's from a Spamelope, a rare breed. John B, there's a dude on YouTube opens and eats military rations from World War II. That spam might still be good. That guy's crazy. He's gotten botulism like 3 times. He had, I think the oldest were Civil War rations. He may have found one since then. And then he always lights up the cigarette. So like, he had a German Nazi ration. So he ate the rations, and then he lit up the cigarette, and he was like, oh God, there's meth in here. But what does he say? Let's get that out in the tray. Let's get all that out in the tray. What's that dude's name? I love his YouTube channel. I haven't watched it in a while. But yeah, he'd still eat 150-year-old Civil War like dried rations. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't want botulism, but hey, I'll watch him do it. Quit resetting, for crying out loud. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. We're back. Oh, maybe at the end. Am I at the end? Holy crap. I'm almost at the end. It's Dr. Spurgeon, the surgeon. Speaking of chicken, I just had a Jollibee for the first time. I don't know what the hype is about. It was kind of gross. I don't know what a Jollibee is. What is a Jollibee? Is that a type of chicken? Oh, it's a fast food restaurant. Jollibee. Fast food. It's a Filipino chain of fast food restaurants? Is that what it is? Or is it a type of thing? I mean, I think I saw them pop up when I've done a GeoGuessr and I've been in the Philippines. I think I've seen the Jollibee. They're in North America now too, but they came out of Philippines. I mean, I like Filipino food. It's delicious. I have no idea what they serve. Do they serve chicken? All right, they serve chicken. Word. Philip Clayton, through the centralization, Houston Wade has held a can of Spam longer than all my relationships with women. So, I mean, it's longer than all my relationships with women too. So, there you go. That is a long relationship. I used to have a light bulb. Same birthday party. Friend gave me just an incandescent light bulb. They put puffy paint smiley face on, a couple little coals for eyes, and then glued a like beer bottle cap to the top of. And I put that light into a fixture, and that light lasted for like 24 years before it burnt out. So, you know, something to be said about puffy paint on a light bulb. I don't know if I've had a light bulb. I mean, I haven't had a light bulb with a smiley face on it before, but that might be the longest lasting light bulb I've ever experienced. Westwind Houston, is there any way you thumb your shirts again, go back to and review your streams from those thumbnails? I don't know. Possibly? I'll figure that out. I mean, the thumbnail used to be just like a random, like YouTube would just throw in some picture of me going, or something. I'm terrible in that I don't make the thumbnails appealing like I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to make like, you know, lots of bright colors. The world is ending, and I'll tell you why, or something like that, and then get people to 10 reasons why your dick's gonna fall off, and people go, oh my gosh, I'm gonna click on that, and then I get 100,000 views of people listening to me talk about the Eye of Africa and how I don't want to go there anymore. Dust G. What if Adam Aaron never converts APE to AMC? Keeping it preferred might spell trouble if markets playing on hopes it will convert later. I mean, my guess is hopefully he'll wait until the APE shares pop in price. We get some chunk of change out of it, and then he can sell however many he needs to pay off their debt, be debt free, have some cash on hand, and roll with it from there. That would cause the stock price to just go kabonk if it hadn't already from the APE squeeze itself. I mean, get rid of $5 billion in debt, have a couple billion in cash on hand, with a theater market where your top competitors are going under. you're golden. You would have enough cash on hand also to like sort of conglomerate yourself and dip your fingers into more markets, and now you can invest in studios and do all the things you weren't allowed to do before because we had decent antitrust laws that we just blatantly got rid of. So yeah, they've got options. $300 billion for EV guys, good for Chinese. As Dragon says, BOFH. Dragon FTC has entered the chat. Last I heard, there's a crackdown on foreign investment in U.S. companies. I would imagine the $300 billion is not going to Chinese companies either. There's been a problem for the last 20 years of Russian and Chinese investors in U.S. tech companies and then becoming insiders and funneling the information to Russia and China. So there actually now is a crackdown happening inside U.S. companies as to people's connections to those two nations and contracts that might, be for the U.S. government and such. So they're looking at that. They are definitely looking at that as to where the money's going and who is behind those companies. John B. Houston, what's your take on graphene? What might I build with it someday? Well, I think those are the weird things where they can make super strong materials. They're going to use it in the solid-state batteries at GMGH, the Graphene Manufacturing Group. It might be used to, in small doses, house and send drugs into people's systems or medicine. Webbing, materials for cars or boats or planes, kind of in the same way that we use carbon fiber currently. Twines for suspension bridges. It can be used in all sorts of crazy stuff. There's things that probably haven't thought of that people will be like, oh, use graphene in that. So yeah, it can be used for a lot of things. It's very hard to make though. There's only a few companies that have the machinery and the tooling that can actually make it. But I'm sure in 20 years it'll be much more ubiquitous. You'll probably have all sorts of major manufacturers able to make graphene and use it for stuff. Where? Oh, you just wander. Oh, there it is. Okay. Is grokking like twerking? Grokking is understanding stuff, man. Do you grok? It became common. Actually, after the book came out during the hippie era, it became kind of common language. People would like tell a story and be like, "Do you grok that, man?" And it means understanding. To grok is grokking. I'm talking about Stranger in a Strange Land, by the way. Which, it's somewhere over there. It's up there. Kind of, it's behind the microphone, or behind Monkey Butt. It's up there. Dust G, are meme stock margin calls turned off? I think people are getting margin called quite frequently right now, and they're just figuring out ways to avoid being liquidated. Like you'll see, in August we had a big crash of crypto, right? Crypto just went, it fell off a cliff. That week we saw a rocket of meme stocks. So these guys probably got margin called. They're probably dumping crypto like crazy, trying to raise cash to either cover positions or close positions. And so it's like a sort of an inverse relationship. So if Sunday night you see crypto drop 5 to 10% all of a sudden before the markets open, that's probably hedge funds trying to make cash in order to avoid liquidation. And they're generating that cash. They're going to have to go out and cover positions or close positions. So look for things like that. There's like a canary in the coal mine that seems to be happening when that happens. Same thing happened May of last year, right? Crypto fell off a cliff right before Labor Day. And then that Labor Day week, the meme stocks went crazy, right? So you might see them like pump a a crypto, and then dump it like crazy to try and like cover positions or close or do whatever it is they're doing to avoid margin calls. David Morgan, one more live streams? I don't know, man. I don't know. Whenever. Steve 1989. That's right. That's get out on the tray. I love that dude stuff. Super Casperg, I heard Judas Priest and Iron Maiden this summer. Don't wait too long. They're getting pretty old. Still amazing. I last time I saw Iron Maiden was 2008, so a long time ago. I did Judas Priest probably 5 years ago. They're still just hammering it out. It was with they play with Mastodon. Who else did they play with? It was Judas Priest, Mastodon. I think that might have been who it was. It's a good show. Yeah. Sean Marcos, check this out. Somewhere tropical and east. Looks like maybe Indonesia? Where are we going? Boom. Okay. Leaving the Netherlands. We're going to, I think, around Indonesia or so. Bam. Where am I? There's a forest. There's a forest on a hill. Anything interesting about this forest on a hill? Well, there are a couple spots down here with their pictures. There we go. Check this out. Got a rice paddy. We got a rice paddy. We have a rice paddy. And we got some ducks. An irrigation canal and a white duck. And some ducks. And irrigation canal. And a path, and a rice paddy. All right. There we are, Sean Marcos. We are visiting with ducks and a rice paddy, and I can't even tell where I landed. I think it was next to Borneo, so I don't know which island I was on when we got in there. What island are we on? We are on... Oh, Sulawesi. Okay, we are in Indonesia. Aren't they building... They're building a new capital on Borneo, right? They're basically taking Jakarta and like plunking it down, I think somewhere in Borneo. But okay, Indonesia, some rice paddies, some ducks, right on. Fantastic. Citizen 54, what are your thoughts on digital dollar? The Treasury is exploring the possibility of creating one. Isn't our money already digital? Credit cards, etc.? They're quasi-digital. The digital dollar would be much more, I think, like a crypto coin. And have a set number of them. As long as we can still use cash for stuff, I like cash. And I think the U.S. government is going to have to explore like how much of their money is outside the country, because there are entire nations that use US dollars as their official currency that don't quite have a fully technical society yet. They don't have electricity, they don't have running water, they don't have phone lines, they don't have internet necessarily. So, but they still need paper currency to do transactions. And there's something about being able to do that, and your business and your dollar being able to be the currency for the globe, because your biggest export are physical dollars. That's our export. We make some other stuff, but mostly we export dollars to people. We've got trade deficits because we print money and we send it places and they give us stuff. And they go, thanks for the hard currency. That's why we can have all these trade deficits, because it's not really a deficit. We just printed money and gave it to them in return for things. So, like China exports plastic crap and imports US dollars. That's the trade we have. No one wants the Chinese yuan. They want U.S. dollars. They want euros. They want those two things. So whatever digital dollar we have has to rectify the fact that the U.S. economy is largely built upon exporting these paper dollars all over the world. And if we don't have a digital dollar that is parallel with the paper currency, then I think it's going to be a failure. Because not everyone uses digital stuff. So not everyone can. If I'm buying a used car from someone and I send them a bunch of digital dollar, I don't know, like it just seems weird. Like, yeah, go to the grocery store, boop, whatever. But I don't know. Garage sales, I might have to like have a digital setup to sell knickknacks and crap, or can I just have them just give me a couple of bucks for the things? Lemonade stand, some kidding, I'm trying to have like his digital set so I can buy a thing of lemonade in the summertime. Seems weird. Dust G, is the SEC letting all other margin calls go ahead and or allowing hedgies to bankrupt before allowing meme stock margin calls? No hedgies, no squeeze. No, I think they're getting margin call quite frequently, actually. They're just managing to survive through nefarious things like swaps and pump and dumps of various stocks or crypto coins, hiding what they owe in equity swaps. They're doing things like that. So yeah. Doc Breezy, would you jump in? 53 north. That looks cold. Looks cold. Maybe Icelandic. Where are we? No, Ireland. Oh, got ourselves a cliff. Got ourselves... Is that a pool next to a cliff? Where am I? What is this place? This little island. Where? Oh, I can go right there. Let's go right there. What the heck? Okay, here we go. We're on an island. In Ireland. And, oh, there is a pool cut out there. Well, that's kind of nifty. I dig that. I would jump in. That. As long as it was summertime and the sun was out for the one day a year that it is. But yeah, I'd jump in that. Hell yeah, I'd jump in that. Because the one I jump in all the time in Hawaii, that for 4 years, I was in tons of people's like vacation photos. Let's go to South Point. Come on, pull out, zoom out faster. Do. South Point blowhole. There it is. What, you don't have the blowhole on here? Oh, there we go. Alright. Bam. Inside the blowhole. It's, I don't know, 35 feet from the pedestal up top to the bottom down there. I jump in that thing all the time. And there's a cave that goes out under, back out to the ocean. So, that looks like my buddy Dave. Is that Dave? No, that's not flip-flops. Dave only wears flip-flops. That very much looks like him otherwise. But yeah, the blowhole's awesome. If the wave's really big, it spits out, shoots like 100 feet in the air. But if the waves are small, you can jump in and go swim out to the ocean. It's a good one from the top. There's one from the top. Let's do that one. There you go. So, that doesn't show the blowhole at all. That's the blowhole there. And then you can also climb these old pylons here and jump into the ocean. The big fat Hawaiian guys are like, quit jumping in the water. But I don't care what they say. Just jump in the water anyway. What are they going to do? Jump after you? No, because they're too busy fishing. And they're not even fishing their fish that are here. They take their fishing poles, they inflate garbage bags, tie them to a fishing pole, and have the wind carry them way out so the deep water fish for like tuna and stuff, miles out. So you're not even near any of the fish they're fishing for. This is also where I ran into a tiger shark. I didn't know I ran into a tiger shark. I was swimming around with some dolphins that were swimming by, And I looked up, my friends were like yelling, "Shark!" I'm like, bullshit. And then played in the water a little more. Look back up, and then I see the big fat Hawaiian guys like pointing. I'm like, oh shit, there's a shark. And apparently it was pretty close to me. It was like 30 feet away, which is about how deep the water is there. And I felt like I ran across the water. There's a ladder, and like got on the ladder. I don't remember swimming. I just remember all of a sudden being on the ladder and climbing. But yeah, they said that the fin had come up and was like coming towards me. That's my shark story. But South Point's awesome. That's my favorite place on the Big Island, is coming here and swimming. It's hours away from Hilo, but it's so much fun. And it's not too far from Green Sands Beach. So you have to go la 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 Green Sands Beach up here. So this is where all of the olivine is in the cliffs and the sand is green. It's weird. It's cool. Go there if you can. Okay. Citizen 54, with global warming happening, isn't buying an island terrible? It depends on how tall your island is, I guess. If you have an island that's got a nice little volcano cone on it, you might be okay. Yeah. West Wind, big panic in Canada this summer when Rogers' cell service went down across the whole system. Need to keep cash on hand. That's another example. If the internet craps out because they get attacked by Ruskies or Chinese or someone, or just EMP, thwunk, and just wipes out everyone's digital dollars, well, right? Need that money. Dark Academia, how old are you, Houston? I am 41. 41 years young. Except for the skin horns, I'm younger than I look. Okay. Dr. Spurgeon, a sturgeon surgeon, remember when the Gipper was all about the Star Wars program? How's that going? Is there any way to avert nuclear annihilation with that type of technology? Seems unlikely to me. We have moved past the Star Wars system. Star Wars system was sort of the first foray into that. If you guys don't know what that is, not the movie, it was a combination of satellite network and interceptor missiles that essentially would use laser beams to shoot out ICBMs that were coming for the United States from Russia. Zap. The movie Spies Like Us played on that. That was about, like, we had to prove the system worked, so we forced Russia to launch a missile, and then we screwed up, and we almost destroyed the entire globe in that movie. Hilarious movie. But we have quite a few laser systems that can hit these things now. Our technology is way better. Our aiming is better. They're just better in general. We even have roving 747s that have huge lasers on the nose of them, and they just fly around. And if something comes along, they just aim and shoot, and then go really far with incredible power. So if we see it coming, I think there's a good chance we can shoot the stuff out of the air. It's better than the old Nike missile systems that we had along the coast. Then their entire job was to launch a nuke up at the other nuke and blow it up in the atmosphere, and then we just have fallout everywhere. But we wouldn't have the physical destruction of the blast wave killing everything. We just, wouldn't have radio, electricity, and everyone would get cancer, and so on. So, yeah. It's all good since he told me. You playing? No, I'm 41. I'm 41 years old. Born 81. Yeah. That's why that spam is 27 years old behind me. Doc Breezy, Houston, are you partial to Toyota or Subaru? I mean, the only Toyota I owned an 88 Camry that I bought. I'd come home in the summer, and I'd go to the Stokes auction near me, and I'd buy just a cheap car for like $300. So an 88 Camry. It was fine, and I just gave it to somebody at the end of the summer and went back to school. One of the cars, my favorite cars I ever had, was a 1988 Subaru XT6. I love that car. Partially restored, and then I had to sell it because I didn't have anywhere to keep. I had to move, nowhere to keep it. So I had to sell that. And the guy who got it ended up finishing the restoration on it, and it is beautiful. Sold it to a guy in Idaho. Absolutely beautiful. But that was one of the most fun cars to drive. All-wheel drive, locked central diff. It had a pistol grip shifter. So you're in this low, kind of wedge-shaped, weird 80s car. And the shifter is like here. It's like up next to you. So you're it's the most fun car to drive. I loved it. I wanted to do an engine swap and put a 2.7 liter SVX engine in it, and never got around to that. So, but throw his 3 liter SVX engine. Never got around to doing that. But man, that's a fun car. I wouldn't mind getting another one, but they rust to shit, and the plastic in the dash falls apart so easily. What I ended up doing, I was at the Art Institute, and they had really big 3D printers, so I glued all the dash pieces back together and had the students scan the dash piece into the computer and then 3D print me a new one. And it worked. It was great. I had to file off a little bit of stuff. I got the bezel for around the stereo that just fallen to powder all back in there. Great system. I highly recommend doing that. Internal combustion engine or hybrid? Everyone's moving to electric motors and everything. I totally get it, but I do like V8s a lot. I like the just feels so good. It's probably my biggest hypocritical thing. Yeah. All right. Anything else for me, folks? Otherwise, I'm gonna go eat some chicken because I really want some chicken right now. That just sounds delicious. Nil 21981. Houston One market tank, 4% Fed rate, funds rate. I don't think the market lasts a week past the election. It might crash before then because we may not. They tried as they might in 2008 to keep the market from crashing before the election, but it crashed, and they weren't able to stave it off. So they're going to try, but yeah, it's going to crash. I give it 8 weeks at the most. Will be sometime in November 15th, somewhere around there, and and that'll be it. It'll be stuck listening to, the economy is so bad, what will we ever do? And it's going to be a lot of, what we should do is should tighten that belt and make things worse for people rather than helping people. And I hate that crap. But, yeah. All right, everybody. Dogs, you guys cool? You're in your blankets, you're fine? All right, everybody. Have a good night. You have a good night. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of each other. Be good. Au revoir.